you see that mega infrastructure projects, the likes that we're seeing in Uttar Pradesh, could they actually correct historical regional imbalances? Whoever wants to take it first.
Absolutely, there is hardly any doubt that the, multi-model integrated planning, as Jayant said and other fellow panelists said, any integrated multi-model planning is always helpful. But as you see, for example, if you compare Gurgaon and Noida, the biggest takeaway Gurgaon always had was the proximity to the airport.
Right.
And the whole growth which we have seen in Gurgaon in last, say, probably 20, 25 years has been phenomenal. But at the same time, Gurgaon, everybody who goes to Gurgaon, no matter whether he likes to go or prefers to go, he has to go. Everybody we talk about the challenges we face in transport, challenges we face in, reaching to Gurgaon, coming out of Gurgaon, and, all other kind of utilities and other infrastructure in Gurgaon. If you compare, for example, Greater Noida, Yamuna Development Authority, this region has been lagging in those kind of advantage. But with an integrated planning, which probably Jaywar has done, and followed by the expressway and, all kind of connectivity, as Piyush has been mentioning about, conventionally civilizations have always grown around connectivity. So connectivity is, of course, there is absolutely no challenge. That is the, no second thought that it's the driving force for any growth that ultimately will matter. But parallelly, we also need to look at connectivity in a holistic matter. Probably we are still doing the patchwork in our infrastructure. So wherever there are challenges, we will either expand our road, create a parallel road, or create a railway line. But for example, RRTS, which has been recently operational for the Delhi NCR, right, we are still catching up. We are still trying to, fill in the gaps. But probably Tier 2, Tier 3 cities, where the laying the infrastructure is comparatively easier, since the growth is about to happen there. But this entire infrastructure and transport planning can lead the growth in those cities. So I think that's where the programs like PM Gati Shakti can be very helpful.
Whatever Jayant has been saying requires massive political will. India historically has had problems with implementation. Have policies not been in place? Yes, they've had different names in different regimes, but we've had policies. Do you think that problem correcting itself as India hurtles towards the deadlines that they've set for 2047?
No, absolutely. I think the biggest takeaway in last few years in the infrastructure sector has been the pace of implementation. So whether it is, today we are discussing about Yamuna Development Authority and how do we, or rather I believe that with the infrastructure growth that has happened in last 5 years in the Yamuna, Greater Noida sector, it has a potential to become a kind of a growth engine for entire North India. So the biggest takeaway in last 10 years in the infrastructure has been the pace of implementation. And as you rightly said that there have been policies, there have been good intentions and, objective to build the good infrastructure. But biggest challenge has been to the pace of implementation. We have seen, roads completing in 7 years, 10 years, bridges building for 17 years, 15 years. From there, today we have reached to a level where expressways are being built in 500 days, our RRTS kind of infrastructure is being built in less than 5 years. Our metros are implemented almost 800 kilometers a year expansion. Or the airport, for example, Jaywar Airport first landing of the flight has been in a phenomenal time. Right. So I think nobody will deny the fact that the biggest takeaway has been the implementation of infrastructure. But that also comes from the basic focus on the infrastructure, because ultimately today we are talking about bringing investment in this region because there is a better infrastructure. You are able to offer good infrastructure for people and goods to move, create that corridor for movement. I think then the whole process, of course there are no second thoughts on what Mr. Mehrotra has said or all other panelists have said. You need a human capital, you need all other other support systems. But unless there is a connectivity, nothing else will start. The ball starts rolling after connectivity.